Patrick's Day. Today is our open house session, so welcome to all of our guests. And to kick it off, let's hear from our president, Renee Yao.
Great, can you guys please go on mute if you're not speaking and give me a thumbs up that you can see my screen? Yes, great, perfect, thank you guys. Welcome to our open house today. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for those of you who come in green. This is green, just a bit dark. And let's raise our glasses. Cheers. Probably beer. Thank you guys so much for being here. You're more than welcome to get tipsy and free speech. And thank you guys for joining Women Lead Toastmasters. More information can be found on womenleadtm.com. That's our webpage. And LEAD stands for Leadership, Empowerment, Advancement, and Diversity. So we provide a very safe platform to practice your public speaking every other Wednesdays. We also empower you through our theme-based meetings and our monthly pop-up workshop that will continue to help you hone in on skills that you find interesting. Of course, both men or women are welcome. And anecdotally, English is not my first language. I started off with 44 filler words, ums and ahs in a 2-minute table topic section that you guys will also enjoy today. To today, I can stand on a stage with 500 people in the audience with no sweat at all. So with that, I hope to share this platform with you guys because I am indebted to this Toastmasters community. The last 6 years has been transformational for me. Every meeting we have a theme. This week it's motivation. You will learn about motivation in our blog post, meeting opening, and table topics. Please note that I didn't say prepared speeches because we are a beginner club. After all of the paid members have gone through their icebreaker, in the very near future, we'll start recommend our speakers to also be theme-based speech, deliver theme-based speeches as well, because it's hard enough to actually deliver any speeches at this point for our members. And in the blog post that I actually shared, I'm gonna paste the link here actually in the chat window for everyone in case you missed it. I share what happens when extrinsic motivation like money, status, or grades can no longer motivate you or your employee, then what? The author Daniel Pink actually shared with us that autonomy, mastery, and purpose are really great 3 intrinsic drivers. So autonomy is the desire to be able to direct your life. And if you are in a management or leadership position, it's great to encourage those that are looking for autonomy to pick the top 4 T's: task, time, technique, and team. Mastery is the pull to be able to make progress and get better at something that matters. And we all enjoy our experiences the most when our skill set is matched. Last but not least, it's purpose. The yearning to do what we want to do in the service of something greater than yourself. Like many members here, we are all intrinsically motivated by our club's mission, which is to provide a safe platform to practice public speaking, build future leaders, empower others, find your voice, and share ideas across cultures. And now we actually have touched more than 50 countries with this club, and fast and growing as well. I really want to thank all of the officers and founding team members. This could have not happened without all of these precious, stellar group of women and men. And here's our meeting agenda for today. So I'll share the link here for your reference. You're more than welcome to open it on your desktop or on your mobile phone just to follow along. For many of you who may be the first time working in a Toastmasters environment, there may be some roles that are unfamiliar. I'll also paste this link here for you to take a closer look at the roles. Without further ado, now I will turn to our Toastmaster of the evening, Khushbu. Khushbu, you are muted.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. Thank you so much, Renee. Beautiful minds inspire others. I received this message on International Women's Day from a friend of mine named Adam. I wondered if he was waiting for the International Women's Day to send me this message, or it just happened to be that day. I decided to believe the second part. Why? Because it motivates me. It motivates me that I was able to motivate him, and I like to motivate others. What is your source of motivation? It's different for everyone. I get motivated with many things: people, friends, family, situations, incidents. Even movies inspire me. Can you believe that? Yeah, movies also inspire me. Small incidents, small situations, moments, everything. But have you ever considered to inspire others? Motivating others? Many of us wonder, am I really that good that I can inspire others? Do I really have those kind of qualities that I can inspire others? To inspire others, you need to feel inspired first. You don't need to be perfect. You just share your things and your strategies, that how you deal with your imperfections, and that's what motivates others. Everyone has many ups and downs in their lives. Everyone experiences so many good things and the bad things in back, and see, others are there in my cap. Maybe it's time to pat our own back and inspire others. Let's make a commitment to ourselves and to others tonight to be proud and develop some attitude, some skills, some qualities that we can inspire others, we can motivate others. This quote by Stacey T. Hunt reminds me to help others. To get inspired is great, but to inspire others is an honor. Let's be honored tonight. Let's make a commitment to be honored and motivate others. With this, I would like to call upon our first functional role, profile of the day, Shikha. Shikha, can you please introduce our to profile of the day?
Yes. So the profile for our today's for today is Dr. Jill Biden. She does not need like an introduction explicitly, but she motivates me a lot by being an educator for life. The First Lady of United States of America, a community college educator, an author. Jill Tracy Jacobs Biden was born on June 3rd, 1951. She is the oldest of her three sisters. Jill Biden started teaching in 1976, and since then, she has been an educator. From 2009 to 2017, she was the second lady. However, Dr. Biden continued her career at Northern Virginia Community College, teaching throughout her 8 years in office. As the second lady, she was advocating for community college and education of women and children around the world. She hosted the first ever White House Summit on community colleges with President Obama and led the community college to career bus tour to highest industry partnership between community colleges and employers. Following the Obama-Biden administration, she published books. One of them was Where the Light Enters, Building a Family, Discovering Myself, was New York Times bestseller in 2019. As a First Lady, Dr. Biden continues her work for education and working for military families. She is still a professor of writing at Northern Virginia Community College. I admired Dr. Jill Biden by her devotion towards education and being an educator throughout her life. Teaching isn't just what I do, it's what I am. Dr. Jill Biden.
Thank you, Shikha. Thank you, Shikha, for sharing a lot of information about Madam Jill. I am impressed. I would like to call upon our functional roles. First one is Grammarian. Our grammarian for tonight is Shannon. Shannon, can you please explain about your role?
Yes. Hi, I am the grammarian. I have a couple different functions. The first function is I will introduce the word of the day. I will also be listening to everyone as they give their prepared speeches and table topics and mention any usage of, or incorrect usage, repeating words, and try to provide an example when I notice something. So the word of the day today is abounding. It is an adjective and it means very plentiful or abundant. So the abounding talent in this room will be sure to motivate you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for giving abounding information about your role and making our guests aware about it. Our next functional role is our counter. Today's our counter is Sujin. Sujin, can you please tell us about this role?
Hi, I'm today's counter, and the purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and, you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and er. And I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Sujin, for giving the abounding information about the role. Our next functional role is timer. Today's our timer is Shashi. Shashi, can you please tell us about your role?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So today I'm going to be the timekeeper for all the speakers and table topics and evaluators. So for the table topics, it will be for 2 minutes. For the first 1 minute, I will raise the green card, and at 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll be raising the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I'll display this red card. So in the same way, I'll be doing for the icebreaker speeches, which will be 4 to 6 minutes, and other speeches 5 to 7 minutes. For the icebreaker speeches, I'll be raising green card at 4 minutes, and yellow card at 5 minutes, and red at 6. And for the other speeches at 5 minutes, I'll be showing the green card, and yellow for 6 minutes, and 7 minutes for the red card. And in the same way for evaluations, it will be for 2 to 3 minutes. And for the first 2 minutes, I'll be showing the green card, and 2 minutes 30 seconds it will be yellow, and last 3 minutes, third minute it will be red.
Thank you, Shashi, for sharing information about your role. Let's move on to the next section of the meeting. Today, we are having 3 different sections. First is prepared speeches, where our speakers would be speaking about the speeches they have prepared. Second is impromptu speech, where our guests and other members of the club will get a chance to speak about the questions or topics that are given by our table topics master. And the third section is evaluation and the feedback. Let's get started with the first section, which is prepared speeches. Before I go on to any speaker, I would like to tell all of our club members and the guests that I will be posting an evaluation form in the chat box. Please use that evaluation form to provide your feedback and evaluate our speakers. Your feedback is very important for us to improve, because that's what makes us improve, right? So let's get started. Our first speaker is Vicky Pan. Her pathway is Dynamic Leadership Level 1. Her project is Evaluation and Feedback. Her speech title is The H in Accountant Stands for Happiness and How to Find It. Vicky Pan. The H in accountant stands for happiness and how to find it. Vicky Pan, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The H in accountant stands for happiness. Wait a minute, how do you spell accountant? A-C-C-O-U-N-T-A-N-T. There's no H. That's the point. There's no happiness in this career, as the joke goes. The stereotype is that accounting is so boring that no one would ever want to question about what we do, maybe except for, can you do my taxes? You know, tax season is here. Dear Toastmasters, speakers, and guests, if you would pretend to be interested, let me explain how I've just had two of the most fun months of the year. I work in public accounting, and every January to March is the notorious busy season when my schedule would be more or less like coffee, work, sleep at 2 a.m., repeat. I just love the busy season, says no one ever. Running on 4 hours of sleep to perform complex analysis on public companies' financial information while questioning my career choice. It's 100% not fun, guaranteed. The workload, the tight deadlines, and the high scrutiny on the work make the 2 months feels like sprinting on full speed on my heels and holding 8 glasses of expensive wine. No spills allowed. Our motto is move fast, but don't break anything. For those who went through intense periods at work or school, you may be no stranger to burnout. In public accounting or any workplace where the workaholic culture and professionalism are glorified, burnout is so common as if it's a norm, but it really shouldn't be. Burnout feels very real and can eat alive your motivation and your mental health without you realizing it, thinking that you are the problem. Having survived another busy season, I have come a long way in finding the H in accountant. First of all, acknowledge your feelings. This is such an important first step because when work or life becomes demanding, it is easy to just brush out feelings under the rug and keep going. That, my friend, is the express chain to burnout. Imagine you see your friend or your coworker having a bad day. Would you just ignore them and pretend that you didn't see them? Most of us, especially women, would not, because that's kind of cruel. We would instead empathize and try to help. Now do that when we ourselves are having a bad day. Do not ignore your feelings. Be kind to yourself like a friend and try to help yourself out. That brings me to my second point. Do the things you love, and most importantly, be fully present and enjoy them. Over the years, I've done my fair share of self-care activities, yoga and meditation, spontaneous travel. And if you were here last time I spoke, you might have already known that I've adopted more houseplants than I could ever handle. When I first started though, I always felt this little bit of guilt in the back of my mind because having internalized the constant expectation from society to perform, I thought of them as slacking or running away from my problems. But thankfully, through meditation practice, I've come to realize that it's not about going through the motions of self-care. It's about being able to care for yourself kindly, gently, and genuinely from within your mind. Accept the things that you love and who you are as a person. And last but not least, happiness is a choice and we can always choose to be happy. That doesn't mean that we would be happy if we just simply click a magical select button. But it means the conscious effort of choosing to make the best of the present moment. For example, instead of being hung up on the choice that I made years ago to be an accountant, I learned to ask myself, do I want to be one right now? It is liberating to know that at any given moment, I can and I am making a choice about my life. Talking about autonomy here. Instead of going it alone, I've also learned to build a strong support system. It's a blessing to be able to have great relationships with my coworkers with whom I could share a laugh at dot accounting memes before logging off at 2 a.m. And I am deeply grateful for my family and friends like Renee, Abhijit, and my friends at Women Lead for your kindness, your empathy, and support. I think without you guys, I probably wouldn't have been able to go through this speech while smiling. There is no age in accounting. There's not even age in the spelling of life, but we can always choose to find abounding happiness in life. Be kind to yourself and take care of yourself, my friends. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
What a lovely speech, Vicky. Very interesting. And I really enjoyed your speech thoroughly. I have already posted an evaluation form into the chat box. I request all the club members and the participants and the guests to please fill the evaluate form. Timer, can we please have a 1 minute time for evaluation?
Sure, yeah.
Kushbu, I have a question.
Yeah.
Most recent 7:15 link, it says the speaker one is Su Jing.
There's still a field under it where you can put the name.
Okay, so we just think of that as the name field. The first field is for name. Okay, thank you. The speaker's name, so it will be Vicky for the first one.
Time up. Yeah, it's 1 minute.
Thank you so much, Timer. Let's move on to our second speech. Our second speaker tonight is Madhumita Sridhara. Her pathway is Motivational Strategies, Level 1 Project, Evaluation and Feedback. How is it going? Madhumita Sridhara. Madhumita Sridhara, how is it going?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening to fellow Toastmasters, guests, and fellow speakers. Have you ever looked at a picture that completely changed your life? I did. And it's not what you think. I saw a picture, in fact, several pictures of a house on the popular real estate website, Redfin. It was a newly remodeled house in the middle of Santa Clara, and it checked so many boxes on our list of things we wanted from our house. As many of you already know, house hunting in San Francisco Bay Area is unlike house hunting anywhere else in the world. Limited supply, abounding demand, super high incomes, and weird property tax laws has created a unique ecosystem that I don't claim to understand. To add to this, a raging pandemic that brought so much uncertainty. When we first saw this house, we were about 3 months into our house hunting journey and had toured about 30 or 40 houses. In fact, we had made offers on 2 houses before this one, and they had fallen through. After a couple of property visits and several discussions with friends and family, we decided to put in an offer to this house. After some back and forth and negotiation, our offer got accepted. Wow, dream come true, right? So far, so good. But that's when things started to get really serious. Now, you must understand, this was the first big project that my partner and I took up as a couple. And it was such a huge investment. We were overwhelmed with the responsibilities we were taking on. And honestly, we just panicked. To add to it, we had mountains of paperwork to sign with the agent, the broker, the escrow, the bank. And it was really overwhelming. Every single signature reminded us of every single thing that can go wrong with this house. On the day of the closing, my partner had a panic attack. And I pretended to know exactly what I was doing and calmed him down. Several times in the months that followed, my partner and I lay awake in the middle of the night, petrified and talking. Did we screw up? What if there is something really wrong with this house? Yeah, what if the pipes burst or the roof starts leaking? Neither of us has any of the skills required to own this house. We spent so much money on this house. What if there's a recession? So many questions, no answers. My partner constantly worried about how the value of the house is fluctuating. I worried about the hundreds of chores this house would bring. We were experiencing a classic case of buyer's remorse, and that was exacerbated by the loneliness of the pandemic. Thankfully, our friends and family were extremely supportive. They replaced the enthusiastic, "Hey, how's the house?" with the more empathetic, "Hey, how's it going?" Trying to understand that we needed more love and attention than the house did. For several weeks, we could not come to peace with the decision we had made. We constantly compared our house with every other house, magnifying the flaws in our house and minimizing its strengths. It was really hard. We grabbed every opportunity we could to criticize ourselves and the house we bought together. All good things in life take effort and patience. After months of procrastination, one by one, we started setting up furniture and taking up small improvement projects around the house. The more time and thought we put into building this house together, the more we learn to love it, the more we learn to love living in it. Instead of focusing on the flaws, we try to find solutions. Like, instead of worrying about an uninviting backyard, I started planning my future garden. We realize now that as long as we look at it as a house, a property, an investment, we will not enjoy it. This is our home, our very first home together. Our home, which we can decorate the way we like. A home that will always be there at the end of a long work day to comfort us. A home that taught us the importance of self-compassion and mental health. A home that hopefully someday will be an inspiration for a picture our future child will draw with the caption, "Home Sweet Home." And that is the picture that will change my life. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Lovely speech, Madhumita. I just enjoyed your journey. I felt like I was buying the house. And you know, it's time to look back on the journey and pat on your back that you bought a house. And I'm sure that you would be very happy in the house. Right? So let's move on to the next speech. Our third speaker is the last speaker, Jojo Chang. Her pathway is dynamic leadership, level 1 project, evaluation and feedback. Her title is The World of Wing. The World of Wing, Jojo Chang. Over to you, Jojo.
Could we have a minute to write our notes for
Sorry,
the
I'm sorry. Yes,
first?
yes.
So I can't
Sorry,
do two. I can't remember. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Can we have our evaluations first? Can we have 1 minute of timer, please?
Okay, time up.
Thank you so much, Shashi. Let's move on to our third speaker now, Jojo Chang. Her pathway is dynamic leadership, level 1, evaluation and feedback. Her title of the speech is The World of Wing. Jojo Chang, The World of Wing.
My apology, the topic is the world of B-I-N-G. My apology. Hi, everyone. Let me share my story here. Every year, I will make up my mind for the New Year resolution in the very beginning. There are always 3 items always on my to-do list. First, to be more fit and healthier. Second, to be more knowledgeable and intelligent. Third, develop a new interest. However, after February, those resolutions always slip away from my life. There's an article saying that more than 50% of the people made up their New Year resolution, including lose weight, quit smoking, exercise more, get more weight, get a raise, get a promotion, find a better job, and more. And yet, virtually studies tell us around 80% of the New Year resolution will get abandoned around January or February. See, my resolutions are one of the 80%. Why do we easily give up our New Year resolution? I'm curious. Through last year, I tried to figure out by myself, and here is my personal discovery. When we set up the New Year resolution, our brain find ourselves a projection. Want to stay fit? Find a model from Victoria's Secret or Abercrombie & Fitch. Want to be successful? Think about Michelle Obama or Sheryl Sandberg, or find any successful icon in your mind. To match those projections, typically our brain processes this way. All right, this is my to-do, which is my projection, my goal. And my brain will help me. These are all the action items, milestones, and I follow. For example, I want to stay fit, right? I will go to the gym every day, 30 minutes running, 30 minutes weightlifting. I feel good because I follow the plan. Sometimes I may slip away for one time, but I still feel okay. However, if I slip away, sleep several times, my mind will start unsettled, struggling, feeling guilty. Then at the end, I just give up. Let me go deeper and share our brain and my work. The brain, theoretically, the brain is very rational and tactical, processing information by logic and moving faster. However, our mind don't work this way. The mind is very emotional and progressive, processing feeling by random and moving slower. Then you can see brain and mind don't work at the same speed all the time, and sometimes they just fight each other. So that's cause our unsettled feeling. So when I found out that this finding really enlightened me, I usually use my brain to control my behavior and try to make everything happen. However, in reality, I should spend more time understanding myself, strengthen my mind, focus on my daily practice, and achieve the goal. So during this discovery, I also find myself 2 tips I want to share with you. These 2 R's really helped me achieve a lot of goals last year. One is remove those role models from yourself for moments. It's nice to have role models, but sometimes you just forget about yourself. You need to put yourself in center. Think about yourself and what do you want to achieve. Those role models can give you some projection, some images, but also confine yourself and become your people later. Second R, remember all achievement consists of a series of actions. Those actions are ongoing verbs. In grammar, we say VING, including exercising, learning, and practicing. Those ongoing verbs and VING, also our secret power that move us from point A to point B, which is our goal and destination. How do I apply VING, that approach, to my 2020 resolution? Remember in the very beginning, I shared you 3 items I always slip away. First, to be more fit and healthier, I added a verb in the very beginning. Exercising 30 minutes per day, hiking 3 times per month. Second, to be more intelligent and knowledgeable, reading a book per month. So last year I read 12 books at least. Third, develop a new interest. I try different cuisine every week. So that's VING, the approach really helped me a lot. And also those information you also feel this information is abounding. Let me recall 2 R's here, remove and remember. That also means remove the stereotype of yourself and remember how good you are. Eventually, everyone is different, and we always can find ourselves in a unique position in the entire society. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Jojo. What a great and inspiring speech. I really loved, and I'm going to implement some of your pointers that you shared with us. Can we have 1 minute for evaluation timer?
It's 1 minute.
Thank you so much, Shasi. Let's move on to our next section, which is impromptu speech or table topics. Today, our table topics master is Anita Jindal. Over to you, Anita.
Thanks, Kushbu. I will just remind everybody what table topics is about. Table topics is to help you build your speaking skills. For example, when you get into a conversation and you want to do a chit chat with somebody or build your network with other people, you might want to approach them and engage in a conversation. This segment is around, for a topic, you will speak for around 1 to 2 minutes. Even if it is not exactly on the topic, think about how would you engage in a conversation and how you would speak. From 1 to 2 minutes, minimum time is 1 minute, maximum time is 2 minutes, and there is a 30-second grace period. So for everybody, even if you don't know the answer, think about how you can engage in a conversation. So that's the intent of table topics. So going with the theme of motivation today, my first question is, what does motivation mean for you? Shobha, I would call upon you so that people here can see how the table topics works.
Okay. You did indeed take me by surprise, but I guess I should be motivated enough to answer this table topics question. So the question was, what motivates me?
What does it mean for you? Yep.
Okay. What does motivation mean for me? Mm-hmm. See, people often tend to confuse inspiration with motivation. Motivation is after you get inspired, and once that inspiration is imbibed in you, it motivates you to do something. Personally, what it means to me is when it's not just about being motivated to do something, but it is being motivated enough so that you do it with passion and you take it till the end. In fact, just now, Jojo gave a speech about verbs, exercising, developing, and about role models. Role models can inspire you. I guess that's what she was saying too. Role models can inspire you, but you get motivated enough to take it one more step further and achieve your dreams. For me personally, I have had many role models and many mentors, and every single one of them have inspired me in some way or the other. In fact, Women Lead Toastmasters, we have so many fresh new Toastmasters, but every single one of you keeps inspiring me whenever I listen to any of these speeches, right? And I do get motivated every day to keep on going in this journey of Toastmasters just to listen to so many folks. Back to you, Anita.
Okay, thank you, Shobha. We heard a wonderful speech on motivation by Jojo. And she talked about every new year as it comes along, we make resolutions. But then what happens is at least 80% of the resolutions are dropped. So my question to you is, can you share a story from your own personal experience? Did you ever make a resolution? And how did you motivate yourself on keeping that resolution? I'll call upon Lakshmi to answer that question. Lakshmi?
Last year was the first time I kept a resolution which I could do something with, you know. I was overweight and my sugar level was almost my sugar level, the A1C was about 6.7 or something like that. My doctor told me that I had to reduce at least 15 pounds in a year. And my A1C has to come down to 6 for this year. I didn't know how to go about it, but my daughter was there with me and she was the one who motivated me. She inspired me and then motivated me because she kept practicing with me. We both used to do the HIT program. We used to watch on YouTube. I struggled. I keep struggling even now. I don't know how those ladies, they do all those exercises, but I try to find some way and try to do it. There was a time when I could not even lift my body up. Now I'm proud to say that I can do at least that. So I struggled. It was every day I used to get angry, but the next day again at 3:45 p.m., I'll say, okay, let's start. And I kept on working on it. And I have reduced 25 pounds thanks to my doctor. And I have brought down my A1C, which I got the result yesterday, to 5.7. So that also keeps motivating me. You know, when I see that A1C level going down and down, it motivates me more to do more exercise. So yesterday I went to the gym after a long time and burned 300 calories. So I did it. That's what is motivating me.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for sharing your experience. For me personally, I always think about excuses for exercising. So my next question is, a lot of times our mind makes all these excuses. So how do we motivate ourselves to get out of these excuses and move forward? Do you have any techniques for that? Would you like to share that with us? Leslie, would you like to?
Sure. So my thing is also that I made a resolution that I wanted to do more exercise. Once upon a time when I was younger, I used to go to aerobic classes every single day after work. I was just really motivated. And then after that, for a long time, I still exercised fairly regularly, but I'd sort of fallen out of the habit. So I couldn't really go to I signed up for a gym just before COVID, and then, that got canceled. So I found myself just sitting around, and I finally realized what I needed to do was two things that really helped me, at least. One was I got a little online, I made a little online program to keep track of my exercise so that I had it hanging over me as accountability, that I wanted to be able to enter something in there every day. I decided I was going to walk because walking is easy. You can do it anywhere. And there's so much that you see when you're walking that you don't see otherwise. I don't speed walk or anything, but I just walk, and I try to walk for at least an hour. The second thing I did is I signed up friends to walk with me. When you have somebody else who's expecting you to come over at a certain time, at a certain day to walk with them, it's really motivates me because I don't want to cancel. I don't want to wimp out. And I even had one of my friends say to me yesterday on our walk, I'm so glad that you're sticking to this because I wouldn't stick to it if you weren't sticking to it. So by sticking together and agreeing to do this, we've been doing it. So I have actually been walking pretty regularly. I'm pretty proud of myself. And it's basically from those two things, having some kind of accountability, even though it's just to myself, and making plans to help other people that will support me and go along with what I'm doing.
Okay. Thank you, Leslie, for sharing these tips with us. That's great. Accountability and bringing other friends along. So those are some good tips everybody could follow. So my next question is, sometimes there is a project or there is a certain goal that we want to achieve, and things may not go our way. And we might feel discouraged, we might feel dejected. Do you have so in this situation, how do you motivate yourself to come out of this situation and move forward? Nami, would you like to try this question?
Sure. Actually, I just got a job after 10 months of unemployment. And so that was a long journey. And at times it was really difficult to keep motivating myself and getting up from the bed. But what really helped me going was the community that I had. I used to be in the fitness industry, and I used to teach group exercise classes, and I was a personal trainer. So I had a great the fitness community. And during the quarantine, I grew the fitness community to like 3 times bigger through the Facebook. And because I reconnected with all my like old clients and my students from my group exercise classes. And so I just wanted to keep going with the exercise because that was the only thing that kept me going at the time. So many rejections and so many ghosting, like it was just very difficult for me to like keep going just with the job hunting. And so I had to create the community, and those people have been there and keep showing up every week. I've been teaching 4 Zoom classes per week, and it keeps going. It's been a year already, but that was the community that just kept me. They keep saying that I like motivate them and I encourage them, but for me it just goes both ways, because they were there for me and they're the one who kind of like kept me going. So that was my motivation, and that was how I got through that difficult time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for sharing your abounding knowledge, tips, tricks for motivation and keeping going. And hopefully a lot of us learned from this particular section. With this, we conclude our table topics, and I give the control back to Khushbu.
Thank you so much, Anita, for conducting great table topics. Questions were great and all the answers were really inspiring. With all these questions, answers, and all the great speeches, I am aboundingly motivated tonight. With this, I would like to invite our general evaluator, Renee. She's our president as well. She's going to take the next section, which is evaluation and the feedback. Over to you, Renee.
Thank you. As a general evaluator, my role for tonight is to evaluate the meeting overall and also the evaluators. Without further ado, I would like to call on the first evaluator, Samantha.
Thank you, Renee. Vicky, what a great speech. You looked so happy and excited to give it. Your smile is contagious. The great thing about this speech or project is that you get to give it again and get all the feedback that we give you today. I was immediately sucked into your speech as your intro asked a question. This is a great way to bring your audience in, as I had to think, how do you spell accountant? Which brings me to my next point. I loved all the jokes and self-deprecating humor you had in your speech. I personally use humor in my speeches to ease my worry when I see people laughing and have fun when I give it. Lastly, your hand gestures were great. I just wish I could see them. You look natural when you gave them, so I suggest that you just stand back a bit so we can see you a bit more. Gestures can be really helpful when you're to help convey your message and emotions. Oh, and I also noticed that you put the part about an anatomy from Renee's blog post into your speech. Back to you, back to you, Renee.
Okay, thank you, thank you. And now I would like to call on the second evaluator, Sarah.
Thank you, Madhu, for sharing your experience of buying a house in the Bay Area. I haven't gone through this process myself, but I've heard a lot about how stressful it is, and I could see many people in the audience were nodding and smiling throughout your speech. So first off, what was really great about your speech? There were many things, but first, I really loved your punny title. I appreciated how it tied into the crux of your speech. When you were experiencing buyer's remorse, your friends empathized and would ask you gently, how's it going? Another great thing that you did was you had a very dynamic speech in the way that you progressed and in your body movements. So I experienced all the ups and downs with you, the excitement of finding the perfect house, the success of putting the offer through, and then the stress of all the paperwork, the process, And then finally, how you switched your attitude and resolved it. You also incorporated really great dynamic movement when you moved back and forth to illustrate your dialogue with your partner. Another great thing was just overall your energy and your enthusiasm. I saw that you were very expressive and your volume was great. And I also loved your outfit. I love the green and the sparkles. One thing that you could improve is adding a little bit more vocal variety. A perfect opportunity for that was in your dialogue with your partner, where you could change your voice to imitate your partner's. Another thing was that I think you held your hands a little bit low, but you were moving your hands throughout the speech. And I think sometimes those movements were a little bit distracting to me. So maybe make your gestures clear, and when you're not making a gesture, just keep your hands still. That's what I would recommend. And the best thing that I liked was how you tied back into your intro with a twist. To start with, you asked us, have you seen a picture that changed your life? And then you mentioned seeing that picture of the perfect house online that met all your criteria. So I smiled and I thought that must be the picture. But then when you concluded, you defined what is a home. And you repeated, a home is, and finally you said, it means a picture of your future child, or a picture that your future child will draw that says home sweet home. And that is the picture that will change your life. That was an amazing conclusion. So to summarize, to improve, you could use the dialogue as an opportunity to add vocal variety. You could also hold your hands a little bit more still during the speech and then bring them up for gestures. And the great things that you did were the punny title, the dynamic emotion in your speech, the up and down, as well as the dynamic movement, your energy, your enthusiasm, and the best thing was the twist from the intro to the conclusion. I have not yet experienced the process of buying a house, but I'm glad to be mentally prepared now. And I will remember that a house is not a property, but a home. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That was a great evaluation. Last but not least, Deepa.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you, Renee. The speech that I have to evaluate today is The World of Being by Jojo Chang. Jojo, I think you did an amazing job of setting the stage for your speech. Your hook was extremely interesting and something that each one of us could connect to. You know, the point about setting resolutions and not following through. And the good part is that towards the end of the speech, you brought back the hook to connect with your speech. You had great eye contact. I also liked how you used gestures very effectively, and it actually helped you, aided you in getting across the point you were trying to convey. You were also extremely confident during the speech, and your confidence actually showed through. There are a few points you may want to work on. The key of your speech is VING. But somewhere along the lines, I could not connect what each of those alphabets, the acronym VING stands for. One thing that has worked for me in the past is repetition, repeating the key ideas in your speech. So there is a takeaway for the audience. The other thing you may want to work on is your vocal variety. Modulate your voice more, maybe modify the speed of your delivery. And I think then the speech will be really great once you do that. To challenge yourself as practice, what I would recommend is perhaps you can record your speech and listen for the areas where you are repeating yourself. Catch those areas and work on those, because there was some point where you knew what you had to speak, but I guess it was probably a lack of practice that you had to rework on rewording your speech. But overall, an excellent speech and good luck.
Thank you everyone for the great evaluation. I will quickly wrap up and give some tips to our evaluators for the day. And first of all, Samantha, you did a really great job highlighting the jokes and the humor in Vicky's speech. And the part about hand gesture is great, but I can't see it. Actually, you're very funny there too. So great job on that. Potential improvement towards the end of it, perhaps use a minute or two to summarize your feedback overall. Sarah, you did a great job about how the speech made you feel, and you actually listened. You almost like repeated verbatim sections of the speech, which is awesome. You're absolutely a great listener, and I bet the speaker really, really appreciated your feedback. Just because the timing was a little over, I recommend perhaps not to repeat as many sentences because many of us actually have sat through the entire speech as a recommendation. Deepa, great job on evaluation as well. Suggestion on the repetition to help us better know what VING is a very great technique. And one additional suggestion is when you recommend Jojo to improve on vocal variety, could you give some specific example? Vocal variety itself for beginner speakers is actually really hard. So any really specific comments and feedback could really help the speakers go a long way. Great, so that's my feedback for all of our evaluators. And now I would like to call for reports from the Grammarian, from the role barriers. Timer first, which is Shashi.
Thanks, Renee. So for Vicky, it was 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Madhumita, 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Jojo, 6 minutes, 37 seconds. So everyone were in the time between 5 to 7. And it was hard for me to be the timer and not to listen between and still like make down like note of everything. Yeah. And for the table topics, Shobha, 1 minute 38 seconds. Lakshmi, 1 minute 48 seconds. Leslie, 1 minute 50 seconds. Nami, 1 minute 58 seconds. And for the evaluators, Samantha, 1 minute 16 seconds. Sarah, 3 minutes 34 seconds. Deepa, 2 minutes 9 seconds.
Great, thank you. The timer is a great motivating factor for us to answer any of our questions in a short amount of time and to be able to also deliver our speeches within the right amount of time frame as well. Thank you, Shashi. And our next counter, Sujin.
Okay, yeah, for Vicky has 3 and 6 tongue clicks and 2 full starts. Madhu, no filler words, just the 3 tongue clicks. And Jojo, 2 and 6 xerox and 4 false start. Shobha, you have nothing. Lakshmi, 2 1 and 1 you know, 2 so. For Leslie, 2 so and 1 xerox. Nami, 2 7 1 like, 2 so, 2 and. Samantha, you have only 1 and Sarah, 3 1 so and 3 tongue clicks. And Deepa, just 1 full start. Okay, this is all of my report today.
Sujin, thank you so much. Could you share with those who are new to Toastmaster what Xerox is?
Yeah, it's my first day about counters. So I also searched online. Xerox are like repeated words, during the speech.
Great. Mm-hmm. So just thought to educate those maybe the first time popping in here today. Thank you.
All right.
Great job. Honestly, counter was the most terrifying role for me because at the very beginning of my Toastmaster journey, I had to actually put coins into this little jar every time I have an and you kept on hearing me putting in coins because I've got so many of them. All right, great. Our last but not least role bearer is Shannon. Shannon, could you share with us from the Grammarian side of the report?
Yes, definitely. So we had 4 people use abounding. Kushbu, our Toastmaster, and then the 3 prepared speeches. So that's great because especially I forgot to mention the goal is to try to fill the word in. So I'm glad a lot of you picked up on that. So for Vicky, one place to watch was kind of a conjugating a verb. So you said it makes 2 months feels like. You can either say makes 2 months feel like, or it feels like. And then as far as, I really liked also your turn of phrase, the express train to burnout. I really liked that. That helped to really, really picture it. So great job there. Madhu, I didn't really write down anything grammar-wise. I liked your mention or when you said that we needed as much care and attention as the house. That resonated with me. Jojo, in the middle, there was a point where you had, I think it was kind of like some run-on sentences, or some of the sentences got kind of long. I didn't note exactly where. I wrote down the word slipping as I was trying to write what you were saying. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, but it was kind of in the middle. So maybe some kind of shorter sentences, or end it and start anew to follow along. But I really liked when you said, well, I can't read it. It was, oh yeah, remove the stereotype of yourself and remember who you are. So I really, really liked that. So great job, everyone. I really liked listening to your speeches.
Great job, Shannon. Thank you. That takes active listening to definitely capture all of the great usage of grammar. All right, and now I will wrap up my general evaluation portion. I think the meeting overall went really well. Sarah started us right on point. I used about 3 minutes to set the stage, and Khushbu then took us through the entire meeting. The only little hiccup here that we have was the evaluation portion. I think we needed the 1 minute after the second speech, but we recovered very nicely. And thank you, Karen, for pointing that out and helping guide us throughout. And I did very much enjoy Anita's table topics aligned with our theme, and Shobha's examples really kicked us off on how to really do the Toastmasters speeches really well. And all of the grammarians and the role bearers have done a great job doing their functions as well. So thank you all. Another great example of how a Toastmasters meeting is supposed to run. We are very much on time. The last section of this meeting is actually passing the control back to me. All right, I am taking back to the control, wearing a different hat now. I am the president of the club. And I will be sharing screen to share a couple of the ending slides. Thumbs up, you guys can see my slides? Great. As many of you who have been here many, many months and weeks, you know that I always like to end on a quote. This is one of my favorite quotes from actually one of the Toastmasters who shared it first with me. You didn't come this far to only come this far. Hopefully all of you have learned a few tips and tricks about motivation, and see you soon in our future meetings. And now I go into the announcement section. So for those of you who have actually paid membership dues, please feel free to fill out this speech selection if you haven't yet. I'm gonna post the link here. And this way our VP LBG will be able to schedule the speech slots accordingly. And next Wednesday, we actually have a virtual happy hour, and please come bring your dinner, wits, and laughter. We have quite a couple of the virtual games prepared for you. Very, very exciting. It's our first virtual happy hour. We would love to use this opportunity to get to know all of you guys a little bit more. March 31st, the last day of March Women's Month. The topic is Choose to Challenge. So hope to see you guys all there. And then we're getting right into April. April monthly pop-up is Humor 101 by Louisa, who is one of the awards winner at Toastmaster on humorous speech. April 14th meeting, the theme is Effective Women Leaders. And April 28th, Personalized Communication. And we also are on all your favorite social channels. Many of us are on Slack, so feel free to join us on Slack, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, just to stay connected. And last but not least, I would love to use the last 5 minutes for guest feedback. For those of you who are actually, very shy, please feel free to use this link to actually submit any of the guest feedback. But if you're not shy, feel free to come off mute and we'll hear a few things from you. Oh, I forgot to send out the link to everyone, but I'll send it right. Okay, so I will now like to turn it to our guest, who's our first time joining us. If you could come off mute and just share with us a little bit of your experience, that would be great.
I'll go. So hi everyone, my name is Joyce Ganthaborn. I was invited here by Priya, who was a guest speaker at our meeting a month ago now, and just wanted to thank everyone for allowing me in this space. It's quite incredible. I just really feel the love, energy, power, and just wisdom in this room. I love attending new Toastmasters meetings just because you see the different styles, how Toastmasters meetings are run in different groups. And I've learned a lot from all of you. Like, you are such amazing speakers, table topics, great choices. And I just love the different styles that you all presented today. I come from the cities of San Francisco's Toastmasters, so that's a club that I have started with the city and county of San Francisco. So it's a newer club, and I would love to invite all of you to come and participate as guests sometimes, especially since we're a new chapter. I would love to expose the members to just different styles of speaking, different styles of giving table topics. Like Anita, I loved your style because usually for us, we'll present a topic and we'll give a few people a chance to answer that same question. But with you, it's just like one question and you call on someone, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really impromptu. I can feel the fear running through my veins. And I would just love to show, you know, the other members of like the all possibilities that Toastmasters can really take you. We do have a spot for a speaker tomorrow. So if any of you are available and interested, I would love to invite someone to be a speaker. Our theme is ambitious women. So very fitting with the group, especially, which is why I wanted to kind of present that. So if anyone's interested, I'm just going to put my email in the chat, and I would love to return again as a guest. I think this club is phenomenal, and I would love to join you all again.
Great. Thank you, Joyce, for sharing your experience with us. And any of the speakers tonight want to go again tomorrow. This is the opportunity to seize. All right. Anyone else have any? Great. Padma?
Hi, everybody. This is Padma Sridhara. I belong to Basic Toastmasters in Saratoga. I was invited here. Can you hear me?
Your voice is very robotic. Could you try again? No, now it's very soft.
If you can use headphones, that might help.
I don't have one handy.
Oh, okay.
Or type it in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll do that right.
Thank you, Padma. Sorry about the voice quality there. Zoom having some technical difficulties right now. Anyone else would like to share a few words?
Sure,
Go ahead.
My name is Nami, and thank you so much for having me today and let me speak during a table topic. I am part of a Mountain View Toastmasters group, and I was looking for another group to join. So I was very impressed with how the meeting was run, and I enjoyed all the speeches and the evaluation portion of it. So I really enjoyed the meeting, and thank you so much for having me here.
Great, thank you, thank you. All right, we are actually running out of time. So I wanna thank all of you guys who have participated in our meeting today, and I will officially adjourn the meeting now. For those of you who want to stay behind and ask any additional clarifying questions, our officers will stay behind. But for the rest of you guys, thank you guys so much, and happy Wednesday. And happy St. Patty's Day. Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Hey, Joyce, put your email in.
Yeah, I got it.